What's up, Lee Tribe? So today I'm going to let y'all know right now, this is going to be a long video because I have a whole lot to say, and I will have some timestamps down there for those of you all that don't want to hear me ramble. But this is going to be what I hope an inspiring, motivational video for those of you who are stuck in a non-selling rut. And now, before I go another further, let me make sure I make this clear, because having a channel on making money online, people are watching channels like mine with a much more critical eye, right? As well they should, because it's so easy for these make money online channels to take advantage of the times that we're in, right? So let me say this here. This, as I said in the last video, I don't care what money-making opportunity you're trying to get into. We are in a recession. People like myself, you're going to be seeing some sales, some screenshots from my reports inside RedBubble. I'm going to show you a PayPal screenshot. Most of the designs that I'm selling were uploaded prior to the pandemic. Do you know how many designs I've sold that I've uploaded since the pandemic? So let's just say since March 20th. Three, maybe four. But that's very normal. Most designs take months to sell, and we're in a recession. So this business that you're going to hear me talking about, it is very fun. It is very rewarding. I had an account that did really, really well in April in spite of everything that's been going on. But that's because I've been active. I have worked hard for this. So you can do this even in a pandemic, even in a recession, but you're going to have to be strategic and you're going to have to be patient. This is not a good time to look online for quick income in most cases, but it's a great time to start a business if you're patient. So now that we got that out the way and the get rich quick seekers are gone and the people that have unrealistic expectations are gone, RedBubble came out with an interesting article at the end of April, and they were talking about how they had a big contraction in sales in March, understandably, because of the pandemic. But then in April, things started to increase, and their stock increased, their sales increased, and largely because people are buying home decor products. And I think I mentioned that in, was it 2 videos ago? Teespring said the same thing. And I hadn't really seen that big of an increase at that point, but throughout April, you guys, it's kind of plateaued a little bit here in May. But in April, I sold so many more throw pillows on RedBubble than I normally sold. If you guys look at my sales report here, so I'm recording this on May 17th. So just look at the number of throw pillows I've sold in the last 24 hours. People are either decorating their homes for their Zoom calls. And I think just because people are at home, they just want something to do. Since they're sitting at home all day, they want their home to look nice. So yeah, we are in a recession where people have lost jobs, but the people who have kept their jobs apparently are decorating their home or redecorating their homes. So it goes to show, yeah, it's sad that we are in a recession, but I think the positive side to that is there are some people still out there throwing money into the economy and redecorating their homes. But again, I have this advantage because these designs that have sold had already sold on other products like stickers and t-shirts. So they were ranked higher. Okay. So I just like to make that clear because I just don't want people to think that this is some type of get rich quick thing. Now, what I want to do in this video is talk about the 4 phases of print on demand. And I know a lot of you are going to find this information very relatable and I hope motivational if you're kind of stuck in a rut, or maybe you've only sold one sticker and maybe you feel like all you're going to ever sell is stickers. Trust me, I have been there and I thought the same thing. But I just want to kind of share some tips about what to do in each of these phases. So the first phase is what I call the WTH phase. Now, I was going to call it something else, but I'm just going to keep it PG and call it the WTH phase. This is the phase when you're brand new to print on demand. And even though you're going to hear me talking a lot about RedBubble, this could be TeePublic, it could be Teespring, it could be Cafe Press, it could be merch by Amazon. I'm personally focusing on RedBubble simply because, well, with merch was shut down last month. So I turned all my attention to my accounts that were already doing pretty well. And so I like RedBubble because they have a whole lot of products and they seem to be doing well as a company. And so that's kind of why I'm focusing on them. But this can apply to any print on demand site, really. But in the first phase, the WTH phase, you might not know much about software. You sure as heck don't know what to upload to these different sites because maybe you don't understand keyword research. So what often happens in this phase is people just go with their gut. And I can tell you guys do that because when I get your comments on my videos, people will say, I don't understand keyword research. And then I always respond with, well, what have you been doing? And they'll say something vague like, well, I just kind of go with what I think is selling and I upload it. No, it's a waste of time, especially in a pandemic when you don't even understand the business yet. You can't just go on your gut. You have to go on data. So they might start off with Pixabay. And as you guys know, Pixabay has free commercial or commercial free images. Just be careful with these sites because sometimes they're not really commercially free or free for commercial use. They've been stolen. So just be careful with these sites. But what people do is they'll go, oh, I'm going to do a dog design. Here's a dog. I'm going to download the dog. Let's open the dog in Photoshop. Oh, Lisa said the design has to be artistic. So I'm going to throw some flowers on the dog. Okay. Well, Lisa also said people like distressed designs. So let me distress the dog. Okay, now I've got a distressed flower dog. So they go to RedBubble, they upload the dog, and they title it Yellow Flower Dog. And then the keywords will be dog, comma, doggy, comma, pup, comma, puppy, comma, cute dog, comma, flower dog. 20,000 dogs in the listing. First of all, you guys, when it comes to keywords, at least on RedBubble, you only need to mention your main keyword one time. So if cute dog is your first keyword, you don't need to say dog again. So a better description for this would be something like flower dog, comma, floral, comma, animal. What you're trying to do when you're describing your designs is you're trying to think about what a customer would search for. So maybe somebody is looking for a floral dog pattern for a pillow or something like that. And they type in floral dog and boom, yours comes up because you put flowers, floral, dog, that kind of thing. So be thinking about the customer. It's not about the volume of keywords, it's about the quality. It's much better to have 8 relevant keywords than 15 repetitive, non-related keywords. Because the non-related or the irrelevant keywords, they wash out your relevant ones. They dilute those. So in this phase, I find that people like to target these very vague, broad terms like mom shirt, cat shirt. What I have noticed about RedBubble is that they seem to not refresh their index a lot. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you upload a 4th of July shirt from Merch by Amazon in 2018 and it does really, really well in 2018, that shirt probably won't perform as well in 2019 because Amazon will refresh their index and show the newer designs and give the new people a chance. RedBubble doesn't do that as well. And I don't know if you guys remember the video that I did last year. It was over a year ago now. This same design was being featured. And so I noticed with RedBubble, you tend to see the same designs. This can be an advantage if you are early to a niche or early to a trend, because your design will rank well for a very, very long time. But if you're late and you're just getting in on RedBubble trying to target cat shirt, there's 57,000 results. You're going to basically be in a hole at the start. And so if you want to do a dog or a cat shirt in the WTH phase, then you got to think about what is selling on this site. What do customers like to buy on this site? Well, they like pop culture designs. So let me take a cat, let me take a dog and combine it with pop culture. What's going on in pop culture right now? We're under quarantine. So maybe make a funny dog shirt about the quarantine. It's a relevant shirt, and you're not just targeting cat shirt, dog shirt. You're taking cat, dog, and you're combining it with a keyword that's relevant today. So when you're in the WTH phase, you do have to study the site and see, who is this site targeting? What kinds of designs do well on this site? Are they more artistic? Are they more text-based? Are they cartoons? Is it fan art? What is it? That's very, very important. And this is the phase 80% of people give up in, because it seems like it's not worth it. And this is when I get people in my comments, oh, none of this works. RedBubble doesn't work. Oh, it works when you find out what sells. Yeah, it really does. It just takes some time. And a lot of times people don't have the patience that it takes to wait for the results to come in. And that's with any business. That's why I think businesses just in general, not just with POD, but business in general always has a very, very high failure rate for people. And I think it's just because people lose patience. They want that income now. We're always looking for that instant gratification. So let's talk about the second phase that the rest of the people give up in, the other 20%. And that's the trickle phase. This is when, and if we're talking RedBubble, when you start to get a sale here, a sale there, it's not very consistent. You might get a sticker sale on June 1st, but you don't sell anything else again until August 15th. And these are the people that are on my video comments saying, oh my gosh, RedBubble is a waste of time. You don't sell anything but stickers there. Well, you guys saw my report. Yeah, I am selling more than just stickers now. But when I did first start this account, that's all I was selling. And the reason I think that I was able to remain patient with RedBubble is I was doing Merch by Amazon at the time I started RedBubble, and Merch by Amazon was very, very hot at the time. And so I think being active on Merch by Amazon and having so much growth there, I was able to just not really worry too much about RedBubble. So I would just go in and log in every now and then and go, oh, look, I made $20 this month, or I made $50 this month, and so I was continually uploading, but I wasn't paying that much attention. But I still was like, this site, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do anything on RedBubble. I don't know why people love this site so much, because I didn't get it at first. It wasn't until I just kept uploading until I found a niche that just stuck. But my early days when I was doing like my random accounts, and this is the other question that I get all the time. What about doing a random niche account where you have a lot of different designs until you can figure out what sells? I think there's nothing wrong with that. I personally prefer to have the one audience account, but I know a lot of you have asked me, you said you can't do that. You just feel too restricted. You can do that. And then let's just say you want to do a music site and you can't decide how you want to narrow it down. And maybe you do some tuba designs, some clarinet designs, some DJ designs, but you notice that the DJ designs are getting more likes, they're getting more sales. So you decide to stop uploading all the music or the instrumental designs and you focus on the DJ designs only. That's a strategy too. But again, you still got to make sure your art that you're uploading aligns with what the customers seem to buy on that site. I was in this trickle phase on RedBubble for a very, very long time, you guys, a very long time. And I remember when somebody on, I think they were in like a private group or whatever, and they were like, oh, I just uploaded about 20 designs to RedBubble and I made $300 by my second month or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. So here I am thinking, because I'm doing so well on Merch by Amazon at this time, I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna do the same. And I'm gonna upload, and it'd be nice if I get $300. Yeah, I did finally get to the $300 plateau on RedBubble. But you guys want to know how long it took me? It wasn't a month. It wasn't 2 months. It wasn't 6 months. But I always have other things that I'm doing. I've never had to rely on any one stream, so that just sort of kept me patient. And so I see why so many people don't stick with this, because if I tell somebody, oh, it might take you 6 months just to make $100, nobody wants to hear that. That's not inspiring to most people at all. And guys, that's not everybody's story. Everybody's going to be different. That's why I don't like making estimates, because I do know people that started selling right away. And then I had no other people that don't sell anything and never been able to master it. So everybody's story is different. But back to the trickle phase, this is the phase where you're like, okay, yeah, I got a $10 check, but this just doesn't seem like it's worth my time. And so you just maybe don't upload anything else and you'll get a little payment every now and then. But this is the phase where it's going to be hard, but you got to keep uploading, because if you can sell 5 designs in a month, you can sell 10 designs in a month. You can sell 20 designs in a month. You can sell 30 designs in a month. How long is it going to take you to do that? I don't know. But I do know if you stay with what is working, you will build, you will grow. Now let's talk about phase 3. And this is one of my favorite phases. This is the mature phase. This is when you're pretty committed to this. You're now getting payments pretty much every month, maybe worthwhile payments. You might be edging up to the $100 a month plateau or something, and you're encouraged and you're designing more and all of that. At this stage, you might even be able to start identifying trends in your sales. So going back to the example of the music, you might go, wow, I'm only selling DJ designs. I think I'm going to turn this into a DJ shop for sure. And maybe you delete those other designs that weren't selling, that weren't related, and you focus on that. And so this is a good opportunity to identify trends. This also might be the time, like I said, you decide to lock down your niche. It's okay if you don't have your niche in the beginning. I'm still a fan of starting like that, but I do understand why people might not want to do that. Also in this phase, if you're on RedBubble, you might start getting more likes on your designs because you're getting more activity. And I like looking at the likes, and I don't know how well the likes help with the algorithm. Maybe they give the design a little bit of a boost, but I like looking at how quickly a particular design gets liked, because I uploaded something last week and it got a like that same day. And that never happens to me. So what did I do? I created yet another design just like that. So I am always looking for trends in my account and seeing where I can scale. And once you get to the mature phase, it's easier to do that. Now, the final phase, this is the growth phase. And this is the best phase. This is where your income is steadily growing. You'll probably start getting, if you're on RedBubble, an increase in messages, bubble mail. I know one of the reasons I had to set up a landing page is I was getting comments on RedBubble from people trying to contact me for custom work. So this is the point where you're starting to get more eyeballs on your site, and you'll start to hear from people that are really fans of your work, and maybe they want to pay you for some digital designs or whatever. So this is the phase where things really start to take off for you. You might want to set up some social media accounts if you haven't already, and maybe start promoting your art on Instagram or Pinterest. Not that you have to wait until this phase, but your sales are so consistent now. You're like, oh man, I want to keep this going. I want to make sure this lasts. I want to diversify this so I'm not just relying on my RedBubble traffic. Big thing there. And that's where I am right now. I'm still way too reliant on the RedBubble traffic. I don't like that. So this is where you're trying to really diversify what you've already built. And this is what else other people don't think about. So many people ask me, well, why didn't you just use Shopify? Why are you doing print on demand? The reason I didn't want Shopify in the beginning is I don't know how to promote stuff. I'm terrible at marketing. I don't like social media that much. I knew I needed help from a platform that already had traffic. So these print on demand websites have traffic, right? So once you get a shop that's selling, now you can open up some social media accounts with the same name as your shop and start cross-promoting your designs. And then what's going to happen, because this is what happened to me, people will find you on Pinterest or whatever because you use the same shop name, and they'll be like, hey, how can I get in touch with you? Or I'll get a bubble mail or a RedBubble message or whatever. Hey, how can I get in touch with you because I need you to make a custom design, blah, 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 blah. So I set up a site so people can contact me there. And so at this phase, you're able to grow what you've done. And maybe if you've always wanted to start your own t-shirt brand or your own brand shop, now you've got some traffic and sales under your belt, and you can build this brand out. So rather than starting a Shopify shop with no following, with no sales, no nothing, you don't know how to promote it, when you start with POD, that's going to give you like an anchor because they have their own traffic base for their marketplace. And that's why I was a fan of print on demand, because they have traffic, and I don't really like marketing. I get all my sales organically. I don't pay for anything. I don't pay for any ads. I'm terrible at advertising. And so the growth phase is a very, very beautiful phase because you're really committed now and you're selling regularly, but it takes some time to get there. Might take you over a year to get to this phase, you guys. But I'm telling you, when you get there, it's worth it. And in the last two phases, the mature phase and the growth phase, this is when volume matters. I hear people say, oh, just upload a lot of stuff yourself. It's all about volume. It's only about volume when you figured out what sells on that site. If you haven't figured out what sells on TeePublic, Teespring, Cafe Press, RedBubble, volume is irrelevant. Yeah, you might get lucky and get a sale here and there, but volume only matters when you know what sells. Now I'm at the volume phase. And that's why I'm still motivated to keep uploading, even though we're in a recession. I really hope that this was motivating. I hope it also shed some light on kind of what to expect, but without giving you too much specific information, because I don't want people to think there's a certain amount of sales or designs that you need, because it's not about that at all. But it does take time to build up income for any business, especially now, given our economy. But this is a very, very fun and rewarding business. I would highly recommend you diversify as much as you can. Don't just do RedBubble. Don't just do TeePublic. Upload to all of them. As you guys know, Merch by Amazon shut down last month and it just reopened again. And sales have been pretty slow. Yesterday, I did a whopping 9 shirts, but you know what? I will take it because in April, I didn't even do 9 for the month because it was closed. But diversification is such a big thing online, period, not just with print on demand, because you never ever want to rely and put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify and save when you can, because it'll make your life much less stressful when things go down or when something happens. So hope that was helpful, you guys. Thanks for watching and sticking through this long video, and I'll talk to you later.